Currently, our solar system contains 9 planets. Although we only currently occupy one of them and plan to shortly move to another, what about the others? Could we survive on them? Come along as we investigate how long you could survive on different worlds. Let's order the planets from first to last so that Mercury comes first. And yes, there are a number of reasons why you don't want to live here. The planet that is nearest to the Sun is also one that has a very bad habit of being a planet of extremes, making it vulnerable to solar flares and other types of energy bursts. The term tidally locked may have come up when discussing Mercury. According to this theory, the planet actually doesn't revolve like most planets do. Instead, it revolves around the Sun in a fixed orbit that prevents it from moving or changing position. If you need an illustration of how that operates, imagine taking a selfie while spinning yourself around to reveal the surroundings rather than the phone. The phone is tidally locked to you, so you are the only one who can move it around by creating your own personal orbit. Get it right away? Strictly speaking, though, this isn't actually what's occurring on Mercury. Rather, the planet simply rotates in place so slowly that it exposes itself to the Sun in a way that has the same effect as a planet that is tidally locked. Given that its orbital year is 88 days, its daily rotation lasts for 58 Earth days, which is a considerable amount of time spent facing the Sun with just minor movements. As a result, the Earth experiences a wide range of temperatures, from extremely hot to extremely cold. We Earthlings really don't want to attempt to travel to this planet due to these factors and the Sun's proximity to it. It's possible that we could find out a way to make it work, but in comparison to other worlds with many more alternatives for habitability, it's just not worth it, you know? How long could you endure, then? Depending on your equipment's quality and what the Sun does. So tell me, would you go there and take that chance? Number 8, Venus. Many people formerly believed that Venus would be the planet where humans may eventually settle down. There are also brief fictitious accounts of astronauts who visited Venus and spoke about their experiences there. These stories may encourage us to attempt to travel to Venus to verify whether the accounts are accurate. There are a few positive aspects of Venus, such as the fact that it has a surface that we could land on, that it is not significantly smaller than Earth, and that despite Venus' closer proximity to the Sun, its atmosphere is thick enough to protect us from the majority of problems associated with such a close approach. But for the time being, Venus is out of the question due to one very clear factor, the greenhouse effect. This is when specific gases become trapped in the planet's atmosphere, leading to a variety of issues. Generally by making the world warmer. And on Venus, that is precisely what is taking place. Because of its atmosphere and proximity to the Sun, Venus has an excessively high concentration of carbon dioxide, which raises the planet's surface temperature to almost 900 degrees Fahrenheit. This is what people are warning about in terms of the worst-case scenario if you understand what global warming is. The planet's surface has become intolerably hot due to the increased heat, and no life can survive there. Little living could survive at that heat that we are aware of, hence it is not feasible to build a human settlement there. However, even if we could endure the heat, the atmosphere's concentration of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases would prevent us from breathing. Strangely, there are areas of the atmosphere that are abundant in oxygen, so if we built floating colonies, we could live there and become the real-world equivalent of Cloud City. But this would be a great distance away and have a number of other issues. But they still have hope. But what if you try to travel there right now? Yes, you would perish rapidly. Number 7, Earth. I understand your question. Why are we talking about Earth? We are already aware of how long we can endure here. When you think about it, Earth is actually the planet in our solar system that poses the greatest threat. Because there is so much on Earth, it's simple to pass away in a variety of ways, not because it's too hot like Mercury or Venus, or because it has hazardous gases like Jupiter and Saturn, or because it's too cold like Pluto. Okay, I'll grant you that arriving on this planet won't result in instant death as it may on some other planets, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee that your fate will be better. Consider this. You might venture out into the street and suddenly be struck by a car. Conversely, you might develop an illness that affects one person in a billion and pass away as a result. Many dangers exist, including cancer, toxic water, animals that can bite you and spread disease, accidents, poor luck, and so on. Since there are countless ways to pass away on Earth, many people enjoy long and healthy lives, but I guess we can all think of someone who passed away much too soon. It serves as a stark reminder that time is of the essence and that we should be content with the things we have in this world. How long can you therefore endure on Earth? Depending on your luck and the quality of your life. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel before we go on to the other planets. You won't miss any of our weekly videos this way. Number 6. Mars. You might make the case that Mars is the planet that receives the most attention, aside from those who are trying to save the Earth in various ways, just saying. Mostly because there has never been a larger desire to colonize Mars. Many organizations, like NASA and SpaceX, are working to finalize their various plans in order to launch missions and land on the planet. Which is fantastic. However, as you are aware, there are many challenges to full colonization, and if they were to simply arrive there at random, they wouldn't live long. Mars is a world without life. According to legend, there were once numerous oceans and other types of water bodies, but due to a hole in the atmosphere and radiation, those are no longer present. Ice and clay are now the finest options available. Which implies that in order for a colony to survive over the long run, it would have to make use of the scarce water resources available. There is also no greenery on the planet due to the atmosphere and assault by space rays. We're a long way from testing, but there are plans in place to attempt and solve that, including terraforming. That wouldn't be simple, even if we built dome settlements and took care of various tasks ourselves. Without the proper kind of gravity, our bones will deteriorate, so we'd need to figure out a means to adjust the planet's gravity so that it is more similar to Earth's. If the dome we are under is shattered, we would also constantly be in danger of being exposed to Mars. That would effectively make the colony a Hoover, which is terrible. So as you can see, before NASA and other organizations even dare try to land a lot of people on Mars, they have a lot to consider. But if they do figure it out, humanity would have a lot of fresh possibilities. And for many, the risk is justified. Number 5. Jupiter. We now enter what is known as the gas giants, a pretty unusual group of planets, as we pass Mars. Jupiter is, of course, the largest. It makes it challenging to talk about this planet because just the thought of touching it would instantly kill everyone. How does that function? Well, it turns out that neither the various gases that make up the planet nor the force of gravity that holds it all together are to blame. Instead, it is the pressure that the planet is exposed to. You would perish in less than a second if you even considered entering it because it is so much greater than Earth's. The first method it might kill you is just that. The two major gases on the planet are hydrogen and helium, both of which are deadly if inhaled in sufficient quantities. Or, there's the fact that the planet is frequently just a massive live storm, such as Jupiter's iconic red spot, which is constantly accompanied by thunder and lightning and has the potential to vaporize you. Do you see the pattern here? Jupiter is not a pleasant planet. Hence, colonizing it is not exactly something we should consider. Particularly because we don't know what is underneath such substantial gas clouds. Some people think there might be land underneath, but we don't know, and even if it were true, we'd probably never make it to the planet's surface. But the moons are a different matter, which leads us to Number 4. Saturn. Saturn is a gas giant and, like Jupiter, has a lot of things that may kill us very badly. It is arguably the most gorgeous planet, apart from Earth. Such as the pressure, which would probably kill you in a split second, or the gases, which might suffocate you. These are unpleasant things to consider. The caveat is that even though we might not be able to survive on the planet, we might be able to live on one of its several moons. One of them, Titan, is rumored to be a location that might support and even hold life. The moon is identical to the moon in terms of gravity, atmosphere, lakes filled with different liquids, including liquid gases like methane and lakes filled with various liquids. As a result, a lot of people are considering moving there. Although we wouldn't be able to get there very quickly, it's likely that we'll start by trying Mars as it's closer and possibly a better alternative. But the opportunity exists. And if we are fortunate enough to land on the moon, we will get a clear glimpse of the rings that everyone enjoys admiring. Number 3, Uranus. Well, I'm asking if you would want to live in Uranus. Why you are laughing at that question? I'm kidding, but I get why you're laughing at that query. But let's take the possibility of habitation on Uranus seriously. It goes without saying that this is not the best place for us to live. Even though it was not on their side. This planet's extreme cold is one of its main issues, like it's freezing. It typically has a temperature of -371 degrees Fahrenheit, though it is possible for it to go even colder. Methane gas makes up the majority of its makeup, which is actually how the planet acquires its blue color. Did you already know that? But the fact that Uranus is so far away from Earth makes getting there practically impossible. This is undoubtedly the biggest issue with Uranus. Number 2, Neptune. In many ways, Neptune is similar to Uranus. Both planets have atmospheres that are primarily made of methane, which prevents us from breathing there and results in extremely frigid temperatures that are well beyond the tolerance level of most spacesuits. And even if we manage to get through all of that, there is no surface that we could land on, so we wouldn't be able to land anywhere. By itself, that would make it a place we shouldn't even attempt to participate in. Furthermore, the planet is so far away from Earth that it would be absurd for us to attempt to get there given our existing technological capabilities, making it even worse than Uranus. The planet sits close to an asteroid belt that it likes to influence, and if you still need a reason why we shouldn't visit Neptune, consider that. It is capable of actually launching asteroids into space and towards Earth. Why would we want to reside there then? And finally, Pluto. The planet that endures even if science claims it no longer exists. Pluto faces one of the biggest challenges to habitation, which is distance. It is the planet that is further from the Sun. It is a solid planet, unlike its nearest planetary neighbors, nevertheless. It is one of the coldest planets, though, and as a result of its distance from the Sun, it is also one of the driest. If you've seen the Magic School Bus, you'll be aware of the effects a cold can have on a person. In the future, it might form a fantastic colony outpost that would aid spacecraft seeking to leave the solar system, but for the time being it is not worth our effort. Thank you everybody for watching. What did you think of this examination of the several planets and the duration of our survival there? Were any of the responses unexpected to you? And do you anticipate that we'll soon inhabit more than one planet? Please let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the channel again soon.